Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, I'm a goddess guide and intuitive tarot reader. Welcome back to my returning viewers. Welcome if you're new here. I'm so happy to have you all here. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are in the world. So today's reading is going to be all about messages from Goddess Hestia on coming home to yourself. So Goddess Hestia is the Greek goddess of the home, the hearth, and the sacred flame. And she supports us really with any matters related to the home, but also more deeply to come home to our own selves. She supports us with anchoring into our inner centeredness, keeping that hearth fire alive within us, right? Like that central connection with our own true spirit. She supports us to really tend to that and nurture that and keep it alive, because as within, so without, right? So as we're feeling within and as we're tending to our inner spirit, that's how we are able to then manifest things and align with things in the outer world as well. So she supports us with that, and also she can support us to really root into our gifts and our wisdom as well. And it's in that capacity that we're really going to be working with her in my upcoming Light Goddess Circle, which starts tomorrow. I'm so excited. Sunday 7th of April. So I still have a couple of spots left, so if you are interested in joining the Light Goddess Circle, which starts on Sunday evening, it's going to run every month on the new moon, and we're going to be working with a different goddess for each month, and it starts for the new moon in Aries and runs all the way through to the new moon in Virgo. So it's through the light half of the wheel of the year, which is all about birthing forth and actualizing your potential. So the Goddess Circle, it's like a held, creative, sacred container where we'll be coming together. I'll be holding space to discuss the goddess, speak about the themes of that particular new moon, because we'll be working with the energy of the new moon cycle for each new moon. And also we'll be doing an intention setting ritual, which is super amplified. Your intentions become super amplified when you do them in a group and witnessed in group energy. And we'll also be doing a manifesting meditation and also a goddess activation, which will really support you to step into your power, to really anchor in your intentions, to anchor in the archetype of each particular goddess, and to work with and harness that goddess power and that new moon energy for each new moon cycle. So if that is calling to you, then check out the link below. I will leave all the details to that. As I mentioned, there's a couple of spots left, but it does close midnight tonight, Saturday 6th of April. So keep an eye out, keep an eye on my community tab for any more updates. But once doors close and once I run the Light Goddess Circle, that is the only one for this year. But get on my newsletter, elstemple.com. If you go on my website, elstemple.com, and sign up to my newsletter, you will get access to not only my Cosmic Goddess newsletter that I send out every new moon and full moon, but also I give exclusive substantial discounts to my subscribers on my newsletter that you can't get anywhere else. So if you sign up to my newsletter, then you get access to these discounts, you get access to all the news about when I start running other goddess workshops and programs, which I'm planning more stuff for later in the year. But yeah, as I mentioned, once this Light Goddess Circle starts, that will be it for the year. So yeah, if that calls to you, check out the link below. And if you want to know a little bit more about Hestia or any of the other goddesses that I will be working with in the circle, then I have blog posts for every single one of the 6 goddesses. So starting with we had Goddess Pele for the new moon in Aries. We've got Goddess Oshun for the new moon in Taurus, Goddess Saraswati for the new moon in Gemini, Goddess Mamakila for the new moon in Cancer, Goddess Amaterasu for the new moon in, I've just gone blank, which new moon is that one? New moon in Leo, and finally Goddess Hestia for the new moon in Virgo. So if any of those goddesses are calling to you and you would like to get an activation with one of them, then yeah, check out the link below. So to introduce each of the piles, if you are drawn to pile number 1, card number 31 with the green woman, feminine, nature, and oneness, you'll be pile number 1, and the timestamps will be in the description box below as always. If you are drawn to card number 25 with dream, manifestation, plan, and be, you'll be pile number 2. And if you are drawn to the gatekeeper with card number 32, gatekeeper, power, and abundance, you'll be pile number 3. Okay, my love, so pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose which pile is drawing you in. It may be that there's more than one pile that's calling to you. If for this reading, because there may be messages across the piles that relate to your situation or relate to coming home to yourself. So just trust your intuition. Only ever take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, my loves, I will see you in your pile. Okay. Hi there, pile number 1. If you chose the green woman, card number 31 with feminine nature and oneness, this will be your reading on messages from Goddess Hestia on coming home to yourself. So let's get your oracle cards out on the table first. And then we're going to go into some tarot messages and finish up with some sacred self-care oracle messages on the self-care you need to step into coming home to yourself. So first up, we have Goddess with the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Okay, don't worry too much about the shadow attributes, because you're not going to be stepping into the shadow attributes when you're truly coming home to yourself. So we've also got reclaiming the feminine, card number 15. So you've got a lot of feminine energy. I'm going to put these all together up here, I think. Actually, move that back a wee bit. So, because we've got feminine here, we've got the feminine expressed through wisdom here, and we've got reclaiming the feminine here. So super duper triple message for you, pile number 1 on the feminine. And we've got card number 18 with guide. Let me just move these up a wee bit. Get that in the shot. Okay, and finally we've got Peacock Priestess, card number 24 with I Am Enough. So hopefully that will fit in okay there. Okay, so pile number 1. Wow, beautiful energy coming from you. Really strong energy and very very feminine energy, very goddessy energy. In terms of aligning with your true self and coming home to your true self, I feel like this is something that for most of you, you'll probably know that this is a part of perhaps your path, or a part of like your true nature, your true energy is that goddess energy or that feminine energy. But I feel like because it's so amplified here with this like triple message about the feminine and reclaiming the feminine, for you, it's kind of coming out also as guidance that like the more you can connect in with your feminine side, the more you'll feel at home within your true self, the more you'll feel aligned. And also not only that, but I feel like for you as well, we've got both guide and priestess. So I feel like for you, pile number 1, and I know we have some priestesses here on my channel. Maybe some of you are on my Patreon in the high priestess tier, because that particular tier is really designed for people who are called, you know, who have a specific calling to be a guide, a priestess, a healer, you know, a wise woman or seer, wise person, you know, whatever it is. It's like, if you're feeling called to that, you may be getting some support in some way. You may be stepping into that role. So it may be that you're on my Patreon, or you may be on my Light Goddess Circle, or on something else with someone else, you know, whatever is calling to you. I feel like you're in the process of, maybe for some of you, already stepping into that role a little bit. Maybe you haven't fully aligned with it yet, or fully embraced it, or fully embodied it yet. I feel like it's kind of just starting to wake up in you. For some of you, maybe some of you are starting to kind of work with that capacity, with your feminine side, you know, with your intuitive side, with this side of being a guide. Maybe some of you do something like this, or you do some sort of like feminine energy work, feminine healing work, or healing work for healing the feminine line in your ancestry, or something along those lines, like working specifically with the feminine line, or something around like working with women, you know, as well. It could be like working with women, working with you know, doing support groups with women, doing like, you know, kind of like the kind of stuff I'm doing now, like with the Light Goddess Circle, you know, doing like goddess circles, doing moon circles, doing, you know, healing circles, doing, you know, sort of gatherings of women, or gatherings of people to help them wake up to their goddess energy, you know, or wake up those goddess archetypes. So hey there, pile number 1, you guys are like, we're like super soul family here, I feel like, because you're kind of doing very similar stuff, which is really cool. And if you're not, that's totally okay. It may be that this is something that will like awaken in you more over time. You know, it may be something that, like, you know, certainly for me, I, like 10 years ago, I was sort of vaguely interested in goddess stuff. I was starting to learn about it a little bit as I was going through my spiritual awakening. I'd done classics at school and university, so I'd learned about goddesses from an intellectual point of view, right? But like I didn't have this embodied understanding of it, or of the energy, or that you could even access the energy or connect with the energy. So it could be something similar for you, that you kind of, you know a bit about goddesses, maybe you even follow my blog or something, and you're like learning about goddesses, you're really interested in learning about feminine archetypes and, you know, goddesses around the world and that kind of thing, but like you're still in the process of like really embodying it, really like connecting and anchoring in with that energy and like rooting into it, you know, because this is something that goddess Hestia really supports us with, is like, you know, coming home. You know, it's a sense of like how we're grounded, like how we ground into our being, how we ground into our wisdom and our gifts. And I feel like this energy, this goddess or feminine energy, is a gift for you, and it's something that you're meant to like guide people with, or be a priestess in some way, you know, being someone who can channel, if it's not the goddess, or channeling, you know, this sort of feminine spirit, if you like, or even female archangels or something like that. It could just be like channeling nature, right? Because we've also got the green woman as which was your selection card, and nature. So it could be that you're really connected with the elementals, like you're really connected with fairies, or with just nature beings, with nature spirits, that when you go out into nature, you can kind of suddenly tune in. You know, this person's got their eyes closed, symbolizing they're able to like go within and connect with their intuition, maybe receive intuitive messages and then guide others with those. So maybe that's something that for you, being out in nature, both these cards show figures out in nature. You know, maybe some of you like getting, you know, being near mountains, or just being out, you know, in like near woodlands, or where there's like a garden or something like that, can help you like really feel sort of peaceful and at one with that oneness there. It's like you feel at one with the world, you feel at one with like the energy of the universe, you're able to like feel really tapped in. You know, that feminine energy is really about like being able to be in that receptive place, right? Like it's like being a vessel, being in that receptive energy, so that you can absorb, you can pick up on, you can you can like I'm getting channeling really strongly. So for some of you may be channels, or that might be something you feel called to, or you're learning about or something. But also that feminine energy is really about, as well, like it says here, with sensuality and you know, wisdom and empathy and all of that. And it's not to say that like, you know, those qualities are like, this is nothing to do with like your sex or your gender, by the way. I just want to kind of point that out for those who might be new to this. Like feminine and masculine energy are all energies that we all have within us, regardless of what sex or gender we identify with. So, you know, this is just an energy. This is an energy that's available to all of us. And like I said, we all have feminine and masculine within us. And I feel like maybe for some of you, you might have been like used to operating more in your masculine energy in the past, and you're starting to like wake up to your feminine energy now. You're starting to wake up to this goddess energy. You're starting to like reclaim your feminine side, or feminine nature, or something like that, or your sort of sensual side, or, you know, that receptive side, that intuitive side as well. It could be that your like intuition is starting to come back online, because quite often, you know, particularly in cultures that really overvalue masculine energy, you may have really suppressed your feminine intuition or your feminine energy in the past. It may have gotten quite pushed down, quite buried. And so there's this like reclaiming going on, this reclaiming process that's going on, and I'm just being guided to speak about this, like I am enough. This, as part of this, like reclaiming your feminine, it's like seeing that feminine aspect in you is enough as well. It's like you don't have to, you know, be always operating from that masculine like push energy and that kind of, you know, linear, more structured, more like sort of goal-oriented action taking energy. Whilst we all absolutely need that energy, and that is you know, like I said, we all have masculine and feminine within us, and we all need a healthy balance of both. And sometimes that type of energy is definitely important and definitely necessary. But if we over operate from that place, if we only kind of operate from that place to the neglect of our feminine side, you know, we can become sort of burnt out or things like that, you know. we can sort of be in this energy of striving, always needing to kind of like take action and kind of prove ourselves and things like that, and sort of never being in that sort of receptive energy of like being able to kind of receive things back from the universe, you know, really being in this like beautiful kind of sensual self-celebratory energy of like, yeah, like I'm the shizzle, you know, like this person is kind of like, yes, I am the queen, I am a goddess, I deserve, like, you know, I deserve the good life, I deserve, you know, beautiful things around me, I deserve to receive for like, you know, just for being me, you know, I am enough as I am. I don't need to like prove myself or, you know, overgive or kind of do certain things to achieve or anything like that. And it's, again, not to say that achievement is not good and that, you know, we should just kind of give up on that, like, or give up on our manifestations. No, like we still need that. But, you know, it's finding that healthy balance of like, you know, if we're always sort of in that go energy and in that sort of action taking, forward moving kind of progression energy, it's like we're never then in that space to be able to like really receive back from the universe, to really like be able to you know, receive all the good things for like all the energy that we're kind of putting out. It's like we can't then sort of absorb, you know, everything that the universe is trying to bring to us as well. So there could be this process of, yeah, needing to reclaim the feminine side. Maybe this is something that was like, I'm just hearing again with your like female ancestral line or something, there might have been quite a suppression of the feminine within your lineage or something like that. Or you could have had like, you know, a past life as a witch, or you know, or you might have been a priestess in a past life or on Atlantis or something like that, and then you know, went through some kind of trauma, or there was some kind of suppression that kind of blocked that gift. And so now as part of this lifetime, you're kind of like really waking that up again. I'm also seeing with the number 31, some of you might be 31 years old. So, and I talk about this quite a lot, but you could be going through, I feel like I have quite a few people here who might be going through or near about like early 30s and going through your Saturn return, which can often be a big time where things really shift. It certainly was for me. I've talked about this in other videos, so you may have heard me speak about this before in other readings. But yeah, in my 20s, I was definitely operating from more of a masculine place, working in production. And then in my early 30s, around that age, actually, when I went through my Saturn return, things really shifted, and I was called to like step into this more feminine energy. And it took you know, quite a while of like alchemizing different things and healing different things, and really, you know, like for me as well, I had to go through a big process of reclaiming the feminine because it was very suppressed. You know, growing up in New Zealand, it's quite a fairly masculine culture, I would say. I think it's probably balancing it a bit more now, but it's, yeah, pretty, I would say, pretty masculine culture, very like valuing a lot of masculine things and like sport and achievement and things like that. And so the feminine was definitely very, very suppressed. It took quite a long time to kind of like connect with it on an energetic level, which, like I said, is something that really is being highlighted here for you. I feel like it's not just about learning about it from the mental level, or yeah, it's like, I'm just seeing with this, they're drawing my attention to these there's these roots coming out of your head. It's like it's like rooting into the wisdom in terms of like embodying the wisdom. So it's not just kind of like a mental thing. It's like you're really anchoring in that wisdom. You're anchoring in that knowledge about the feminine. You're really, really grounding into it and embodying it fully. And then also wisdom is definitely really highlighted here as like being able to express that wisdom, like I said, through being a guide or a priestess, or in some way, shape or form, like expressing that feminine wisdom through something that you do. It could be through a platform or through, you know, just even embodying it and expressing it around people generally in your life. It doesn't have to be like your whole career necessarily, but I do feel like something to do with being a guide or a priestess is definitely possibly on your path at some point. But yeah, let's read. I'm going to read the Reclaiming the Feminine from the Root of Woman, and then we'll get into the tarot. So 15. So a core task in a woman's journey through life is to discover and then integrate the feminine principle which has been repressed over countless centuries. Yeah, I kind of feel that even within your own lineage. It's been repressed. Like, I mean, it has collectively, of course, right? But like definitely within your lineage. And I feel like you might be the first person in your whole lineage, you know, because some people like you, there's some light workers, right? And you read up about them and then it's like, oh, I come from a long line of psychics or seers or wise women, or like my mother was a blah blah blah, and you're like, you know, like that's great, like good for them, and absolutely that's amazing because they just kind of came on board already with that gift and having that sort of side of themselves supported, which is brilliant. But for most of us, and definitely collectively, there's a huge suppression. And so most people, this is a first time thing. Like we're kind of reawakening this now. For so many of us in our lineage, it's been super suppressed. And so like we now, as the first in this whole line of people, like have to kind of do that work of uncovering it and really connecting with it and then healing it and all of that. So it is a big process. And I feel like for you, part number one, it's definitely been repressed over centuries, quite possibly within your lineage. But yeah, it's an antidote to the masculine principle whose qualities have dominated our cultural discourse here in the West for far too long. We need the feminine to balance out that dogged drive for success and progress and devotion to intellectual, rational, and goal-oriented traits. Feminine qualities of relatedness enable us to appreciate and live in harmony with other humans, as well as the other than humans who share the planet with us. And yeah, you definitely got like nature as well coming out. So nature and animals and all of that, I feel like is important to you as well. So they enable us to appreciate the rhythms of the natural world, nature, yep, as well as the rhythms of our physical body and the cycles and seasons of our lives. These qualities of the feminine principle also include the instinctive feeling qualities traditionally associated with the heart and soul. But reclaiming the feminine isn't just about embracing all the things which make us feel good. We need to encounter the dark feminine too. This isn't necessarily the negative aspect of the feminine, rather it's the expression of the very necessary creative and chaotic energy which allows us to experience the full range of women's mysteries. This card invites us to delve deep to uncover our inner source of female wisdom and to embrace our own unique creativity and life-giving qualities in the spirit of both our own growth and our service to the world. So yeah, I feel like that's sticking out really strongly to me in terms of your calling to come home to yourself, about delving deep to uncover your inner source of female wisdom and to embrace your own unique creativity and life-giving qualities in the spirit of both your own growth and your service to the world. There's something that you're here to be a guide or a priestess or be of service to the world in some way. And I feel like it's something related to feminine energy or something about like goddess energy or being some kind of guide, being in that like sort of instinctive feeling qualities. I'm hearing channel again, so like some of you might be channel, some of you might have be readers and be like have a YouTube channel or something as well, but and I feel like you might be someone who you might use, you know, you might speak about like goddess archetypes quite a bit as part of like when you're working with people, maybe when you do private readings or something like that. But let's have a look at the tarot cards now to get a bit more energy of what Pearl One needs to know about. What does Pearl One need to know about coming home to themselves? I've already pre-shuffled the deck, so I'm just going to get straightened. What does Pearl One need to know about coming home to themselves? Please, Goddess Hestia. What does Pearl One need to know about coming home to themselves? Maybe you don't need to know anything, Pearl One. Maybe you are already at home in yourself and this is all just pure confirmation of everything you're already doing, which is amazing. Go you. Three of Cups. Beautiful. Yeah, I was feeling Cups energy. I was just speaking about the instinctive, like connecting with that and using that instinctive and feeling nature of yours. And we've got Three of Cups, which is, Cups is all about your emotions, your feelings, that feeling side of you, all of that. And it's a card related to celebrating that and honoring that. And we see this figure with like three women around her and, you know, just celebrating being alive and having good times and connecting with that energy, connecting with that emotional energy, enjoying themselves. So really, really beautiful. Let's see if we can get some more. What else does Pearl one need to know about? Oh, okay, the Chariot. Yes, movement. Oh my gosh, I love this because this has got, we've got the like yin yang symbol with these two lions, one black and one white. So I feel like, yeah, harnessing both your masculine and your feminine energies within will allow you to like really move forward. We've got this kind of blue river that this person is wheeling fast. It feels like they're sort of moving fast. You know, we've got this kind of like stream of wind, almost like colored wind sort of behind them, like woo. And blue is linked with the throat chakra, which is all about expression and being your authentic self and like being able to voice yourself. And so I feel like moving forward with like voicing your authentic self it's going to be key to harness both your masculine and your feminine energies and bring them into balance in some way. So I feel like for most of you, if there is an imbalance, it's not a huge one, but if there is, it's possibly that you're more used to, which is very, very natural, by the way. And I don't say any of this as a like, you know, any sort of criticism or anything. Like I said, I operated purely from my masculine energy for about 10 years of my life during like, well, probably longer really, through my teens even as well. So school, you know, uni, work, corporate life, like working my way up the ladder. You know, really valued all those sort of the masculine values we were talking about when I was reading out this card. And it took a lot to connect with this goddess energy and this feminine energy. It was a lot of like unlearning things to be able to like reconnect in with that feminine energy and harness that energy, you know, reconnect with that sort of instinctual side, because it does get very suppressed, it does get very buried. So there's definitely a reclaiming here that I feel like you're being called to do even more than you already are, because I do feel like for most of you, you are already on this path. You've already come like some way. Do you know what I mean? Like it's already been something that it kind of feels like this river started off quite small here, right? And it's like then trickled and then got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like now there's just like all these fish flowing. Fish also made me think of like Pisces energy, which is very creative, also very intuitive as well. Can be very spiritual energy. You know, it's the last sign in the zodiac, and it's often related to it rules over the 12th house, and it's often related to like you know, that dissolving energy of being able to merge with the divine, being able to merge with our higher selves kind of thing. So I think like harnessing both your masculine and feminine energy is going to be key to like moving forward more and more, and like amplifying your authentic self, coming home to your authentic self like more and more and more and more, so that you're like almost like merging with your higher self in a way. And it's just like this, yeah, this like I'm hearing like river of abundance just kind of gets bigger and bigger, and like the more you express yourself from that like feminine place, like the more things will move in your life. I feel like, wow, beautiful energy. Let's get one more, and then we'll get some self-care cards. What else does pile one need to know about coming home to themselves? To be honest, pile one, when I tune into your energy, for most of you, you're very, I've got a couple of cards, you're definitely on your way. Like I said, you've been on this journey for a while, and I don't feel like this is new to you. Maybe for some of you it might be, but I feel like for most of you tuning in, you've been on this path for a while. And then we have, oh my gosh, I love this, Four of Cups and Crone of Cups. So many Cups cards, 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, and Crone of Cups. And then a Major Arcana, which is, you know, like big stuff. This is life journey stuff. This is like something that, you know, is moving you forward. I definitely feel like, yeah, maybe some of you are 31, 30, 32, something like that, going through your Saturn return. And you're being moved now at this juncture to kind of really embrace that other side. And I feel like maybe for some of you, this 4 of Cups has been like, you've maybe been trying certain things. You've like invested yourself emotionally into certain paths or certain projects or certain jobs or certain ways of being, or even it could be relationships, but I kind of get more of a vibe of this is like work related. And then the universe is trying to bring you this like one more cup, which is this extra cup that the universe is trying to show you is embodying this Crone of Cups energy, which is like, this is in this deck, there are no kings, there's just crones. So it's like the highest level. It's like having the most sovereignty, like being the crone. It's like the wise woman, right? Or wise person. So it's like really embodying the cups energy to like the absolute most that you possibly could. And I'm seeing the fish, we've got the river with the little fish here again, so kind of more Pisces energy. Maybe some of you are Pisces, sun, moon, rising, or North Node. Doesn't have to be, but it's kind of like definitely watery energy, or embracing that Piscean type energy is kind of what you're being called to step into more, you're being called to anchor that in, to come home to yourself more. Like that is your part of your, you know, who you really are at your core, who your soul is at your core. You are very, very wise. This Crone of Cups energy, and they're telling me to read the book, so I'll stop rabbiting on and just do what I'm told. But yeah, Crone of Cups, definitely like embracing, it's kind of getting to a point of like mastery with your emotions. Like you've learned to kind of master your intuitive emotional side, and now it's time to kind of guide others, I feel like. But let's see what the book says. There might be something specific. Where is Crone of Cups? Swords, Cups, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, the mastery of emotions. She who has full control of her emotions, she has lived a lot and now knows how to control that which has destabilized her in the past. She can be someone who doesn't show what they feel because their gaze is forward-looking, broad, and rational, also towards their emotions. Often she represents people who have roles that listen and care, like psychologists, doctors, and healers. She prefers not to show her vulnerability, but knows well that this too can be a great strength. Here, Yamaya is the water of a lake calm. Here, Yamaya is the water of a lake, calm, with defined borders reflected in the sky. Yeah, so I feel like embodying that feminine nature, that feminine essence, that like the wisdom of your emotions. It's interesting. She's kind of sat on this like little hill thing, this little island in the middle of the sea, but she's got kind of 1 foot dangling in. So it's kind of like you've done that emotional healing work. You've done that work to like reintegrate and reclaim your feminine side, to reclaim your intuition, and like now you're in the process of like embracing that. Because I feel like putting these in the other way, they kind of came out together, but it's like before maybe that was being offered to you, or it could be now, and you could be still a little bit like I'm not really sure about that, like, you know, maybe I still, you know, need to kind of cling to this kind of masculine paradigm, or I still need to kind of go down this route. But I feel like there's this new opportunity coming, this new kind of gift, this new way of being. And I'm seeing with the number 4 there as well. 4s can be about foundation. So it's like maybe creating a new foundation for yourself around being something like a guide, a healer, a psychologist, you know, that type of thing. Someone who listens, someone who shows their empathy, someone who supports people with your wisdom, because I feel like you are very wise. You've had to like alchemize a lot in your life and heal a lot. Like you can't be like, honestly, you can't be, you're not generally speaking, you're not going to be called into the role of a priestess or a guide if you haven't gone through some shit in your life. Like it just doesn't happen, because you just wouldn't have the empathy or the understanding or the wisdom. Like you wouldn't have like embodied that wisdom fully. So yeah, I feel like that's something that like the more you can kind of embrace that side, that intuitive, empathic, like watery, emotional, feminine side of yourself, there's something coming for you that's gonna like, you're being called to kind of anchor that side in, to like root that side in, I feel like. So let's finish up with some self-care cards and see what self-care you're called to do at this time to support you. And if you can hear the rain on the conservatory ceiling here. Woo! Okay, we got make a meal. Okay, so maybe for some of you, like, there's a lot of healthy food here, so like maybe doing a bit of a detox or cooking something you know, healthy, a lot of greens and things like that, could be a way to connect in with your body and feel more healthy and sort of like clear out any sort of energetic anything that's kind of clogging you up, I guess, energetically. So there could be a bit of a message for some people around like, yeah, cooking, making sure you're looking after your body, making sure you're eating really well. What else does, whoa, that came absolutely flying out. Okay, and we've got connect with fire. Okay, so maybe doing some kind of fire ritual, maybe like burning, you know, like writing something down if there's anything you need to release, and then like putting it in a little bonfire or a little cauldron or something like that, doing something outside in nature as well. And we've got connect with the earth, yes, which I feel like is beautiful end to the reading, because it's beautiful circularity there with your card was nature, the green woman, and we've got connect with the earth. So yeah, getting out in nature I feel like is very, very important, particularly for you, pile number one, to kind of ground any energy that you've picked up on, especially if you are an empath. And also just to be able to like I said, it's like you can connect in with like your guides, with like the elementals, with your spirit team, with the goddess, or you know, whatever it is that you connect with. I'm also seeing a lot of crystals around here as well, so maybe doing something like clearing your crystals could be something in nature. Definitely like connecting with trees, like if you have a particular tree you can go to and just like stand or sit next to the tree and like absorb the energy from the tree, the grounding energy that will help you really ground into yourself. So yeah, those are all the messages I have for you, pile number one, on coming home to yourself. I hope you enjoyed that reading and it resonated for you. Drop me a comment below if you did. I always love to hear from you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps tell me what content you guys are enjoying at the moment. Check out the link to my Light Goddess Circle if you feel called to join tomorrow. I'd be so happy to have you there. As I mentioned in the intro, in case you missed it, there's still a couple of spots left, so check that out. It's the only goddess circle, the only light goddess circle I'm going to be running this year, so I won't be doing another one for a long time. So check that out. Goddess Hestia is the sixth goddess in the circle, the last goddess that we will be working with on the new moon in Virgo session. Each goddess circle for each of the new moons is going to be working with a different goddess and activating in their energy, anchoring into their energy and their archetype. Very, very powerful. And also working with intention setting and manifesting techniques and more to help you actualize your potential. So I would love to see you there. Check out the link for that below. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of my community. I would love to have you here. All the best with coming home to yourself, part number one, and I will see you in the next reading. So much love to you. Bye. Pile 2, if you chose card number 25 with Dream, we've got Manifestation, Plan, and B. This will be your reading on coming home to yourself. So let's start off with your Oracle cards, and then we'll move into, I'll get some messages from the Tarot to see how you're going with connecting in with yourself, and then we will finish up with some self-care guidance on how you can come home to yourself. So we've got Exorcist, Light Attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. We have got the Call, card number 6. We have got card number 43 with the Goddess. And let's just move these right up. And finally, we've got When Darkness Surrounds You, Be the Light, You Are the Light, card number 17. Beautiful. Okay, so pile number 2. So when I tune into your energy, I feel like for you, pile number 2, coming home to yourself is going to require a little bit of, like as I said with dream, like dreaming the life that you would want for yourself. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of maybe clearing out some like either destructive impulses or like negative influences from other people, and then allowing yourself to like really spend time with yourself and really like dream, and you know, maybe do some vision boarding, maybe do some you know, some journaling, spend some time with yourself. You know, this little fairy is just kind of sat on a toadstool, and they're just kind of, they look like they're sort of thinking about the future, like, oh, what would it be like if I did this, or what would it be like if I did that? And I feel like maybe that's something that you haven't really allowed yourself the time or energy or the space to be able to dream and to kind of feel into like what is authentic to you and what you would really like to do. And kind of just allow yourself to kind of expand your mind and kind of let your daydreams sort of run away with you. And yeah, kind of like plan as well, like sort of plan for things, like not just kind of have those daydreams, but, you know, do that step of figuring out what you may like, you know, what works for you, what you're interested in, what your own values are, you know, and then kind of then maybe, like I said, doing some vision boarding, which, by the way, I have a process for doing intuitive vision boarding, which is a better way to like uncover things that are more authentic to you, as opposed to just kind of going through and cutting out a bunch of stuff that like society tells you you should want, you know, like, which is often very related to fancy material things, like, you know, fancy cars or a fancy apartment. And sometimes people will do a vision board that way, and then after 6 months or a year or something like that, it doesn't happen, and then they wonder why it doesn't happen, and it's because it's coming from an external place and it's not coming from their true selves. But when you do it from your true self, when you allow the time to kind of like dream and sort of feel into like what is authentic to you and what you would truly like to manifest for yourself, like really spend the time kind of coming home to yourself first, then you can, if you vision board from that place and do it far more intuitively, you're much more likely to get success. It's definitely worked for me. I've been doing this process for like 6 or 7 years now, maybe a bit longer, and so many things have come true for me. It is just bonkers. So I will try and remember to leave the link to the post that I wrote about this on, but I'm pretty sure it was on, let's see, it was one of the Yule goddesses on my blog. Which one was it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyway, it was around the time of New Year. So if you go back through and have a look, and it's in the section of the blog post about how to connect with that goddess, I think, and it's a whole new moon manifesting ritual. But yeah, I'm sorry, I can't off the top of my head. When I'm channeling, sometimes I forget names of things and I can't remember which goddess that was. But check out my blog, it's on there, and I'd really encourage you, that's kind of coming up, because it's specifically talked about with this dream card. This talks about like taking the time to do things like vision boarding and like figuring out what you would really like. I'm just noticing the two kind of, well, these are feathers, but it looks like this person is wearing wings, and this figure is also wearing wings as well. There's something like, yeah, wings is symbolic of movement, but also freedom as well. So I feel like there's something you need to free yourself from, like, you know, I'm sort of getting with this exorcist energy and freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. And then we've got when darkness surrounds you, you know, this can be like, maybe there's some darkness that you've been going through. It could be like maybe you've gone through a period of ill health or depression, or there's just like a lot of maybe like negative influences around you that you've absorbed from growing up, like from your conditioning or from, you know, a significant person in your life or something like that. Like maybe you had someone in your life who like they might have had a lot of destructive impulses themselves. Like maybe I'm kind of picking up possibly addictions or something like that, and that's something that like maybe you don't necessarily have, but you've lived in the shadow of like that person's addictions, and maybe you don't have the same thing, but like you have certain tendencies that are like self-sabotaging is kind of what I'm getting. So yeah, there's something around like freeing yourself from that self-sabotage, from that like negative energy, or from someone else's negative influence in some way, and like just being free, like allowing yourself to like expand your wings and be able to like fly away, or like to be able to feel free to like go in any direction that is calling you, like to express yourself in any way you feel called, to follow your heart as well. I'm just seeing here, you know, we've got the color red, which is the color of the root chakra, which is all about like your home, your roots, your family, you know, how you grew up, your conditioning, all of that. And she's sitting on top of that. It's like that is the past, that is over, that is the end, you know. And now it's time to like tune into the green color is symbolic of your heart chakra. So it's time to tune into your heart and connect with like what you really love, and allow yourself to dream about like, what do I love to do? What do I really enjoy? What brings me pleasure? What fills my heart up with joy? Like, where is my heart guiding me? And allow yourself to really like have the freedom to connect with that side of yourself and start to like spread those wings a little bit and just at least just dream and then kind of see, you know, where that might go. Because I feel like pile number 2 with this card here, the Call, you're at a significant juncture at the moment that where you're maybe, like I said, you've had a lot of darkness, or there's been a lot of like difficult things around you, and you're kind of at a rock bottom point possibly, and that is often the point where you receive a calling, or you receive this like the call, which I feel like I'm going to just actually read from a guidebook because it's got really good guidance about this energy. So the heroine's journey always begins with a call to change. Sooner or later, we're called to wake up. It's a call to rise up out of the unendurable everyday and inhabit a full, authentic life. And when we hear it, we must answer this call or forever be lost in the wasteland. This call can come at many different times. When we find ourselves unhappy in our jobs and our marriages, when we develop chronic illnesses, anxiety, or other mental health issues, which I picked up possibly with the destructive impulses, that could be like a mental health issue that kind of keeps you, keeps you from like essentially fully coming home to yourself, from fully, you know, allowing yourself to dream. You know, it could be something like depression or bipolar or something like that. But definitely some kind of possibly mental health or an addiction or something. But yeah, when rage or grief threaten to overwhelm us, when we begin to contemplate our own mortality, to question who we are, who we might have been, who we might yet become, when for the first time we finally see the wasteland for what it is. The call comes when we break. It comes to us sooner or later, but it comes. And whenever it happens, we know there's a journey we must undertake. Something deep inside us knows that there's somewhere we should be going. And so in the end, no matter how long or hard we resist it, and whether or not we think we can, we go because we must. We go because to stay is to die. So yeah, I feel like there's something calling you to sort of go on a journey, I feel like, of self-discovery, of like learning about yourself, allowing yourself to discover, allowing yourself to dream, allowing yourself to connect with your heart, freeing yourself from any destructive impulses, or freeing yourself from anything that's holding you back from this sort of like wasteland energy. And maybe it's like a job you're unhappy in, a chronic illness, like I said, a mental health issue, something like that. It's like freeing yourself from that. And like it could be for some of you, though it may not necessarily be, that you may end up in this role of being like an exorcist in a way where you help then support other people through like freeing themselves of destructive impulses in some way. And some of you may be already doing this now, like certainly with a reading, you know, it may not be that like this is all still to do. Sometimes you can recognize yourself in a reading and be like, oh yeah, that, you know, I'm hearing this reading now as a confirmation of what I've been through. Like that has been my journey. Like I was in that dark place, you know, when darkness was surrounding me. I did get that call. Like I did have to leave a lot behind because I was in a wasteland area. I had to go on a journey of self-discovery, free myself from all those self-destructive impulses or sabotaging tendencies or whatever it might have been, things that were holding you back. And find my wings. And it could be that you're really in this phase now of allowing yourself, like, you know, to manifest and to go after things that you actually dream about. And that could have been something that you just never allowed yourself to do before. So you'll kind of maybe all be at different stages of this. But I feel like with the Goddess, like this card talks about like really honoring yourself, honoring your like the goddess that resides within you. You know, owning your authenticity. It's a blue card as well. So it's, again, all about authenticity, which we just spoke about with the call. So, you know, owning your authentic self, being able to, you know, speak your needs, being able to express your true self, being able to express your creativity, all of that. So this goddess energy is someone who, like, you know, she really embraces her value. She really owns her authentic self. She really embodies her authentic self. You know, she's really at peace in herself, but also it talks about as well, there was something in the guidebook about connecting with your essence, like being, I think it was this card, unless I'm confusing this, but I'm pretty sure it was to do with, yeah, here it is. This is a bit that really stuck out to me. So it's talking about like, you know, the goddess is like, she knows her resources, qualities and strengths. She taps into them to realize her potential, flourish and find fulfillment. She expresses these resources, qualities and strengths fearlessly and unashamedly with rightness of the heart. So yeah, coming back to the heart chakra. So she's aware of her wounds, taking care to treat them so they don't become obstacles. She's healthy, balanced, nourishing, she has healthy, balanced, nourishing and fulfilling friendships. She's aware of her shadows and observes them benevolently and from a distance to free herself from them. So again, about freeing, a lot to do with freedom with these cards. All of them talk about that. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, freeing yourself from your shadow, freeing yourself from things that are holding you back, and head towards the greater light. And then it's talking about chakras. And then it talks about, this was the bit that really stuck out. Finally, the goddess has deep self-knowledge. She knows who she truly is and she lives authentically and uniquely. She's connected to her true essence so she may express herself fully. And that was the bit that it's coming out right underneath the call. That is what you're being called to do if you haven't already, if this isn't like a confirmation of a journey you've been on. If you're kind of more in the place of like, you know, you feel like your demons are holding you back, or, you know, you're in a difficult place, you're in that, you know, you recognize yourself as being in that kind of wasteland place, which there is nothing wrong with that. And like, I have been through that, you know, and also, by the way, we often don't go through that once in a lifetime either. It's cyclical, and we can sometimes go through it again and again until we, you know, learn all the lessons from that being in that wasteland energy and then needing to come out of it, and sort of navigate, you know, unlearning everything that we've learned in the past, healing our shadow, healing our wounds, connecting with our authentic self. It's a whole big in-depth process, and it can take a whole lifetime to go through. So don't feel like, you know, you're behind or anything like that. Absolutely not. Like, it can take a really long time. And, you know, I just feel like this is coming through quite strongly, because if you haven't sort of already started honoring that call to getting to know your true self, it's like you kind of, what I'm hearing is, it's like your demons will be ruling your life. Like, instead of like your inner goddess or like your inner true self, like you it's like something, kind of the energy I'm getting is like someone who's hijacked your car, and you're in the car, but you can't do anything about it. And it's like this little demon has got in your car, as in they've and I don't mean demon in a religious sense. I mean it in like these are self-limiting beliefs, right? These are things that we're conditioned with. These are our own self-sabotaging tendencies, and they're often, you know, from things that we've been conditioned to believe about. There are things that are in our shadow where, you know, parts of ourselves were suppressed when we were children, or when we were very young, and we learned that those parts of ourselves weren't acceptable to the adults around us, and so we suppressed them and hid them so that we could survive, right? Or so that we could be accepted by those people who looked after us. And so when I say demons, I mean that in a sense of like, you know, your shadow, like these sort of experiences, these traumas, these negative impulses, conditioning. It could be an addiction, it could be mental health issues, whatever it is. It's like it's hijacked your direction and like gotten into your car, and it's steering you on a certain course that like isn't necessarily true to you. It isn't necessarily like what you would plan for your life if you were in the driver's seat of your life. And so I feel like part of coming home to yourself, part number 2 for you, is definitely doing that step of like, if you haven't already, and some of you, like I said, you might be on this journey already of like freeing yourself from self-destructive impulses, freeing yourself from your shadow wounds, or, you know, like reintegrating parts of your shadow, you know, freeing yourself from any conditioning that's holding you back, freeing yourself from self-sabotaging tendencies, and really embracing and getting to know, because I feel like this is something that's kind of, especially when you know, with it saying when darkness surrounds you, it's like when darkness surrounds you, you can't see clearly, right? So you can't see yourself with the goddess that you are. You can't see your true self, your true light, your true beauty. And so, but you are the light, as it says here, like you are the light, be the light. And it's like once you've healed from that darkness, which, like I said, some of you might have already done that, or you might be partway through that process, or you might be in this wasteland energy and being called now, receiving that calling to do that work of like uncovering your true self, allowing yourself to you know, figure out what it is that you want, you know, figure out what needs healing. You know, it's kind of like that process of like I'm hearing that the Baba Yaga story, which is like where Vasilisa goes to see Baba Yaga. She's been like, you know, treated terribly by her stepmother, so you might have had a similar, you know, like bad upbringing in some way. And she goes to see Baba Yaga because her wicked stepmother and wicked stepsister send her to Baba Yaga's house, who is the witch in the woods, the scary witch in the woods, in order to get some more light, some more fire for the hearth. And Baba Yaga sets her to work. She's like, well, you can't just have it for free. You have to work for me. You've got to sort. She has to do these bizarre jobs of like sorting the wheat from the chaff, or like there's like all this wheat that's mixed in with kind of like all this rubbish. And she leaves this huge pile, and she's like, yeah, you've got to do that like by tomorrow. And when I come back, then I'll give you the wood. And Vasilisa does it. She calls on her, like, she has the spirit of her mother with her in a little, I think she has some little totem thing that her mother has given her, a little totem gift. And she calls on her mother for support, and she has this like angelic support with her, and she's able to do the task. And so when Baba Yaga comes back, the task is done, and then she's able to leave with the hearth fire. And the essence of the story, or the moral behind the story, if you like, or the meaning of it, is that process of like sorting out the wheat from the chaff, like all the dirt that gets like mucked in with the wheat, is kind of what's being called for you to go through. Is like working out, like when you're sort of analyzing your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, your values, you know, who you are, what you want to express. It's like doing that process of like separating and figuring out like, okay, that's not really me. That's something that was conditioned into me, or that came from society, or that came from my parents, or that came from, you know, whatever it is. That's my mental health talking, or, you know, like that, like not mental health, but you know what I mean? Like that's my addiction talking, when it says, oh, what I really want is to do this, you know, or that's you know, a self-sabotage tendency, when it's saying like, oh no, I don't want to shine my light, I don't want to manifest that, like let's not have hope to manifest that because we'll just be disappointed. That's my depression talking. Or I hope you get the idea. It's a little bit of a convoluted way of explaining shadow work, but essentially like there's a process of needing to kind of like really dig and like kind of clear out stuff, that exercise stuff, you know, being the exorcist. Like I feel like you have this archetype within, you know, this is something that you're able to do for yourself, and potentially, like I said, for others, for some of you. But it's like kind of clearing away the wheat from the chaff, and like sort of revealing this beautiful luminous goddess that is within you, who really like loves and appreciates and values yourself. You know, you recognize your shadow, you recognize your wounds. It's not to like deny or negate them, or just be like, hey, like have a false sense of like, you know, false positivity, or like spiritually bypass everything, you know. It's not about that. It's kind of like, you know, just clearing away and like sorting out, like, you know, because I feel like there's sort of something, what I'm hearing is like there's something kind of concealing your light. There's something concealing, and it's like some sort of a like something like a negative belief, a negative conditioning, a mental health thing, an addiction. Something is like covering up your truth and your light, and preventing you from really being able to see that and really embrace it. For those of you who maybe are a little bit further along, it's like you're being called to be that light for others. Like I said, some of you might end up being a sort of an exorcism type role, like, you know, you're probably not going to call yourself that, but, you know, like doing something. It could be something shamanic, like we can see a shamanic figure here holding a rattle and the feathers. So it could be like doing some shamanic work, you know, shamanic journeying or something like that, to help people like reintegrate aspects of their soul that have like split off or something like that, or like heal their wounds, or, you know, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be shamanic. It could be some other technique or some other modality. Could be therapy, you know, that is a sort of a doing, you know, therapy can be a sort of form of exorcism in a way, or it could be energetic work. It could be sort of energetically exorcising, like clearing out negative energy that's kind of become stored in people's energy fields, or whatever it is for you. It'll be different for all of you. This isn't so much a career reading, it's more about coming home to yourself, although there may be elements of how you express that in the world that certainly might come out in what you do as a career in the future, or at some point. But I feel like for most of you, for pile 2, it's kind of about like, relearning yourself is what I'm hearing, like relearning about who you really are, and like what your own dreams are, and what is like true to your heart. So let's get a little bit of tarot now. It's meant to shuffle. So while I'm shuffling, for some of you, if you feel called to join my Light Goddess Circle, check out the link below, because I feel like for you in particular, pile 2, it could be very supportive to help you like rebirth yourself and to connect with your true light. Sometimes this kind of work, certainly for some of you, you might be called to do this alone, or like like I said, with a therapist, or with like a guide that you trust or something, but for some of you, possibly doing it in a small, supportive, nurturing group could be really powerful to kind of see that, hey, there's other people who've gone through stuff as well, and like hear their perspective, be able to like reveal those layers and connect in with yourself. And Goddess Hestia will be doing a session with her for the new moon in Virgo, and there'll be an activation with her to help you anchor into your true self, anchor into your gifts and your wisdom. So that could be quite nourishing and supportive, in particular for you, pile 2. So I will, like I said, I'll leave the link for that below. Whoops, that is a terrible shuffle. I've gotten stuck. There we go. Okay, so let's see, pile number 2. Goddess Hestia, what does pile 2 need to know about coming home to themselves? What does pile 2 need to know about? Whoa, my goodness. Okay, we got, oh, I love this. A new beginning, the Fool. Yes, taking a leap of faith, stepping off that cliff, that sort of comfort zone, or away from something, like it said with the Cool card, like maybe leaving that job that makes you unhappy, or going on a journey of self-discovery. I feel like, again, she's wearing blue, so we've got the blue, two cards with the color blue, which, like I said, is linked with the throat chakra, and it's all about your truth, your authenticity, your self-expression. So I feel like you're being called to go on a journey of discovering yourself. And with the rainbow there as well, rainbows come out after the rain. So I definitely feel like for some of you, you've been going through a bit of darkness, or possibly depression or sadness, grief, something like that, something that might have ended. Certainly the Fool is a brand new start. It's card 0, and some days it's card number 1, but here it's card 0. So it's like the 0 point. It's like after everything has ended, it marks the very beginning of the major arcana, the very beginning of the hero or heroine's journey through the major arcana. So you're on a whole you're at the cusp, you're on the verge of stepping off that cliff and going on this brand new journey. And for some of you, that journey is all about self-discovery, as I mentioned, and for others of you, this could be you've done that journey and you've completed all of that, and now this Fool card is stepping off that cliff and becoming that person for others, becoming that person who like helps, as it says, freeing yourself, because I feel like you for some of you may have already freed yourself, so now it's about freeing others of their destructive impulses, and you're on this journey now of manifesting, as this card talks about, your selection card, of manifesting that becoming that role essentially for other people. So let's see what else we've got. What else does pile 2 need to know about coming home to themselves? What does pile 2 need to know about? Oh, I love this. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I was saying. Page of Wands at the beginning with the dream card. This is like very playful, curious, fun, creative energy. Wands is all about creativity. The page is like the youngest court card, so it's like you don't have any responsibility yet. You don't have to kind of step up and be a king or a queen and like run a whole empire. You get to just go out and explore. You get to go out and see what lights you up, see what ignites your fire, as we've got here. This is like supposed to depict a young Bridget, goddess Bridget, the goddess of creativity. And I did a blog post about her as well, so if you're interested to connect with Goddess Bridget's energy and find out how she can support you to ignite your creativity, check that out. I'll try to remember to leave the link below. But yeah, essentially it's like, you know, going out exploring, you know, she's kind of like inching away kind of into the, like across this branch on the river, and she's like, oh, it's like taking little risks, but just trying different things. You know, we've got this energy of spring here. New buds just starting to form, so it's like trying new things, you know, trying new creative things, trying, you know, playing around with your creative talents, playing around with different creative ideas, trying new things and seeing what calls to you, you know, seeing what you enjoy essentially. So beautiful energy. I love this. It's like you're really stepping out and going on this beautiful new journey of like, yeah, igniting your creativity, I feel like, and seeing what lights you up, seeing what fires you up as well. Like what gets you going, what makes you want to get out of bed, like what even, like what I'm hearing is like what inflames you, like, or what enrages you, you know, like it's kind of like what gets you riled up, like what do you want to, you know, maybe some of you want to like write about something that like really, you're really passionate about it because it's like, oh, this thing in the world is like, it just gets me going, like it really upsets me that this is happening. It's like a sense of injustice or something. Maybe some of you want to kind of do something about that, you know, or it could be just, yeah, kind of like maybe for some of you it's kind of like then alchemizing that into creating something. It's like, you know, then maybe you write about it, or you write, like you make music, like you write a song about it, or you write poetry about it, because we've got, she's holding, oh my gosh, I just said, no way, I just said write poetry about it. I hadn't noticed this, but hopefully you can see. Maybe if there we go, poems. She has a book of poems in her backpack. That is crazy. So yeah, maybe for some of you, you might be called to like write poetry. Sorry, it's gone out of focus now. There we go. You might be called to write poetry, or try like writing of some sort, or yeah, because Goddess Bridget, like she's the goddess of, what is it, the goddess of like bards, I think. And so yeah, like writers, poets, all of that, like storytellers. So yeah, maybe some of you are like, you're starting on a new journey of, you know, really like writing about things that you're passionate about, writing about things that like light you up, or it could be things that, you know, get you going, that fire you up or something. You know, I'm kind of hearing it could be like environmentalism, like related to environmentalism, maybe for some of you. That's quite specific. That could be like one person, but yeah. Let's get another card. What else does Pile 2 need to know about coming home to themselves? So I love this energy for you, Pile 2. It's so beautiful, so creative, so new and fresh. Let's see. What does Pile 2 need to know? Maybe that's all it wants to say. Okay, there we go. Oh, I love this. Knight of Cups. Yeah, taking action on what brings you emotional fulfillment. Like really going towards like what you love, like investing in something that you love, investing and moving forward. You know, like this is quite fast energy. You know, it's linked, cups are linked with like your emotions, what fulfills you emotionally, what brings you joy, what makes you happy. What makes you feel like carefree. Like this figure's kind of just on the horse, like wee, like kind of like, maybe for some of you it's going horse riding. Maybe this is something you used to love, or, like animals or horses or going horse riding. That's quite literal, but it could be that, or just, you know, maybe the sea as well. I'm seeing with the beach here. Is that beach or a river? I'm not really sure. Kind of looks like a river, but then there's sand. Something with water, possibly. And also Page of Wands is like by a river as well, so maybe getting out into water could be could help you to connect with your like creative flow, or something like that. Or maybe like, yeah, being near the, yeah, I definitely think that is the beach, because there's shells on the sand. So yeah, maybe for some of you, like, yeah, like taking a holiday near the beach, taking a beach holiday, or moving to somewhere that's near a beach or near water could be very healing and supportive for you. It could be, that could be linked to this new beginning, this new start. But more generally, I feel like this is, yeah, like I said, taking action on like what brings you fulfillment, what lights you up, what you really want. Like after you've done this process of like coming out of your comfort zone and like clearing out all those things that were holding you back, stepping off that cliff. It's like not holding onto your comfort zone anymore, not being unafraid. That's not the right word, because it's like you can, it's like feel the fear and do it anyway. It's like you can still have fear around trying these new things, but it's like, hey, I'm gonna, this horizon that I'm seeing over there, which by the way is like very linked to coming back to your original card with dream, manifestation, plan, and be. It's like, what do you envisage for your future? Like, what do you see for yourself? Not what your depression tells you or what your negative conditioning tells you or any of that. It's like, what do you see for yourself, you know? And then like feeling the fear anyway, and still choosing to like take that leap of faith and be like, yeah, you know what, stuff everyone else, stuff my negative mental chatter. I'm gonna try this thing. I'm gonna step out, I'm gonna inch out onto this little branch, and I'm just gonna try writing this poem for this poetry competition, or I'm gonna try spending some time writing a novel, or I'm gonna try doing painting again because I loved to do that when I was a kid, or I'm gonna try starting to make my own jewelry and I'm going to sell it on Etsy, or whatever it is, like, or I'm going to try doing dancing lessons. I'm kind of seeing that as well with this little dress here. It looks kind of like a dancing dress for some reason. So for some of you it could be that. But yeah, taking action on what brings you emotional fulfillment is really what I'm seeing. So I'm going to finish up actually for your pal. I'm going to read the guidance from, if I can find it, here it is, the Love Your Inner Goddess book, which I didn't do for part one, but I feel like doing it for you guys. So here we go. You're the light. You are going through spiritual initiation. This is happening because you are ready for it, even if it doesn't always feel that way. The way to pass this test is to rely on the light within you. Don't let fear or doubt make you distrust the path ahead. Don't give in to despair or believe that things will not work out. Yeah, it's interesting talking about the fear. Don't let fear or doubt make you distrust the path ahead. Because it's like I was saying about feel the fear. It's not about not having fear. It's like acknowledging you still will have the fear, but it's like feel the fear and do it anyway. Don't give in to despair or believe that things will not work out. You are learning to trust that the universe knows what it is doing. There are great and beautiful things meant for you, and no matter what appears to be right now, they will come to you in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Keep your faith in the light, all will be well. And the spiritual guidance is, light is powerful. Some people don't understand this. The fear in their hearts makes them cynical. That fear stops them from seeing what is true. In the absence of truth, they hold on to their judgments instead. They scoff at what they don't understand. Be careful of allowing such people to influence you. Oh my gosh, yes, I was talking about with that exorcist and freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, that for some of you, this was like a negative influence, like freeing yourself from a negative influence, which I feel like is what this is talking about now, about like, maybe someone who's really judgmental, or they scoff at you, they scoff at this like creative energy you have, or the things that you might want to go towards. And I feel like they've been very, very influential over your life. That energy has been very influential over you. So yeah, it's definitely guiding you. Be careful of allowing such people to influence you. It's not wise to take advice from people who are invested in creating pain. Oh, I love that. It's not wise to take advice from people who are invested in creating pain. You can have compassion for them, but you must not underestimate how their negativity can taint your trust in the universe. Yes, exactly. When we feel the light within us, when we trust in it, we are able to move beyond the fear and negativity that exists in this world. You have it within you to be that light. The only thing that can trap you is the choice to believe in the negative and give in to fear. That's not you, so don't choose that for yourself. Don't listen to people who would cause you to question the light. The light within you is the real you. Be at peace, beautiful one, for the positive power of the light in you is stronger than any darkness. And there's a sacred ritual here, which I'll hold up to the camera, and you can do this in your own time if you want. If if I can get it to focus. There we go. So focus gently on a visible source of natural light. That could be a candle or a campfire, the moon in the sky, or reflecting on the water, the sun shining down from the heavens, or you could even close your eyes as you see, feel, imagine, or pretend that there is an eternal light flickering inside of you. Relax as you repeat this soothing and empowering affirmation to yourself aloud or silently in your mind for as long as feels good for you. I choose to trust the light. I am safe and held in the light. I am the light. Okay, wow, that is so beautiful. I feel like those are all the messages I have for you, pal. Number 1, I'm not going to do the self-care oracle because I feel like really for you the self-care is like this process of self-discovery and allowing yourself to dream, and also possibly do some intuitive vision boarding. Intuitive vision boarding could be a good self-care process. So hopefully I will remember, and I will leave the link to the blog post where I talk about that below. Otherwise, all the best with coming home to yourself, pal. Number 2, if you enjoyed the reading, comment below, even just leave an emoji. It helps my channel so much. Hit the like button as it helps tell the YouTube algorithm what content is resonating for you guys. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of my community. I would love to have you here. All the best with your journey, and all my love, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Part number 3, if you chose card number 32 with the gatekeeper, with gatekeeper power and abundance, this will be your reading on coming home to yourself. So let's get your oracle cards first up, and then we're going to get some tarot messages as well to look at how you can come home to yourself even more, and then we'll finish out with some self-care to support you in coming home to yourself. So straight off the bat, we have got mentor with passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. We're not worrying about the shadow attributes here because this is the energy that you're stepping into. We have got C with plumbing the depths. We have got card number 3 with empowered. Love that. Let's move these up a bit. Good. And finally, we've got lion-hearted with lioness, card number 26. So let's put that here. Okay, so pile number 3. Wow. When I tune into your energy, pile number 3, your pile number 3, and you got card number 3 there as well. So double message about 3. Maybe some of your life path 3 could be, we'll come back to that in a minute, but definitely super powerful energy. Some of you may be 32 or 26, just seeing that straight off the bat. It doesn't have to be, it could just be extra confirmation for you, but definitely super powerful energy. We've got both dragon here and lion energy, both of which are like really powerful. Dragon is very powerful in terms of like spirituality wise, or like in terms of your spirit. You have a very strong, very powerful, very magical spirit, a very strong ability to manifest as well, and also very wise with that like gatekeeper energy. It's like you are like the keeper of the keys, the keeper of the wisdom, the keeper of it's like the treasure, you know. Dragons usually guard over treasure, and we've got these like coins here symbolizing abundance, but this card talks about not just like material abundance. So that could be something very much that is like, once you're really at home within yourself, you will attract a lot of abundance, but also that you have an abundance of wisdom. Like you have this treasure within you, this absolute like gold mine of wisdom, of like power, of spiritual insight. Like I'm just seeing with this like huge eye here, the dragon's eye. It's like you are very perceptive, you're very wise, you're able to see a lot, like you're able to kind of tune into someone's situation. Like you might have like hella intuition, or like very good like psychic abilities, or a very open third eye. And just a lot of spiritual power, and a lot of like very strong, brave energy with the lion as well, or lioness energy here. Some of you could be Leo, or have Leo sun, moon, rising, or north node as well, because I'm just seeing with this like star of destiny, it's like we've got the north and south node here. So maybe some of you're stepping into being like Leo north node. but yeah, definitely you've got power and empowered. So you're coming home to your true self, or coming home to yourself is one of really embracing power for you, pile number 3. Like it's embracing this like dragon archetype and like sort of lion energy of being very courageous, being very brave, you know, owning your power, embodying your power, really recognizing that you have a lot of wisdom, that you have a lot of, like, I'm hearing esoteric knowledge or esoteric wisdom. And we've also got with mentor as well, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. So I feel like, you know, if you're not already kind of some kind of spiritual guide, spiritual mentor, or a mentor in some capacity, that is something that, like, once you've really come home to yourself, you will probably naturally fall into that role, or people may naturally gravitate to you for that kind of thing, for spiritual wisdom, for insight into their situation. Some of you could do something like this, or you could just do it generally in your life, that you're kind of this person who takes people under their wing and you kind of guide them as to like life's mysteries, or you just kind of have this like wealth of wisdom that you're able to share with people around you. So I feel like as well with sea and plumbing the depths, like you just have this huge depth to you, pile number 3. Some of you also, I'm kind of getting with the depths as well, this could be and kind of dragon energy a little bit too. This could be Scorpio energy. So for some of you, could be like could be Scorpio North Node, or have Scorpio energy in your chart somewhere quite strongly. Don't worry if you're not any of the particular signs or things that I mentioned like that. They're just like extra confirmation. It doesn't mean that it isn't your reading or anything. But yeah, with plumbing the depths, it's like you have such super vast depths to you, like, you know, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, like just in every which way. It's like you have so much like treasure, so much wisdom to mine within your depths, like from your life experiences. And I feel like part of your process of coming home to yourself is really embracing being empowered, or really stepping into a position of power. I feel like because you've got both power with the gatekeeper and empowered. So the strong message around power, owning your power, stepping into your power, and yeah, really I feel like being some kind of mentor and being able to like sort of use this depths of the wisdom that you have, of the like insight that you have, of the knowledge that you have to guide others. Maybe some of you have been a teacher in the past, or you are a teacher, if not like a sort of conventional teacher like in school or education, then like I said, it could be kind of mentoring people in terms of being a guide in some way, like being a spiritual guide, a spiritual mentor, emotionally mentoring people, or just like possibly working with young people. Like it looks like this figure's kind of working with like a young woman here, so maybe you guide young people in some way, you're a mentor towards young people. But yeah, it's like very, very powerful energy, very emotionally wise, very emotionally like huge kind of capacity to understand emotions, I feel like. So maybe for some of you do mentoring in terms of like supporting young people or helping people like understand their emotions. So you also, it could be some kind of therapist or something as well, because I'm just kind of thinking, you know, plumbing the depths is kind of like that therapeutic process of guiding people through the depths of like all their emotional selves that they maybe haven't explored, and like helping mentor them to understanding their emotions and make sense of them, and make sense of like the depths of who they are, you know, looking at like, you know, their childhood and everything that makes up who they are. It could be something along those lines. But I feel like for most of you, I'm kind of getting it's more like, it's possibly not convention, like a sort of conventional path of like a conventional therapy, or a conventional teaching, but it's kind of more related to it's more related to maybe something spiritual. So maybe some of you, identify, or you're feeling called to step into the role of being like a spiritual mentor. But as part of that, you may support people to work through their depths, to work through their emotional selves, to heal their emotional selves. It could be also something that you see. It's kind of like this, with this eye here, it's like you can really see, like what I'm kind of getting is like you can also see other people's power as well and empower them. So like you can kind of see through, see to their depths. It's like see where maybe there's a lot of conditioning or things that are holding them back, or like sort of layers of like negative emotions or something that are holding people back from being fully empowered. And so you're able to help, like, because you can kind of see that person truly for who they are and see their true power, you're able to help empower others. So yeah, wow, very, very empowering energy. Maybe as well, like you help people step into their North Node, you help like align people with their kind of like higher self in some way, or their, like with their path in some way as well. It could be, I mean, definitely with mentor, it could be, like especially as a spiritual mentor, it could be like mentoring people to align with, connect to their higher self, to connect with their destiny as well. It could be kind of, I'm getting with the star of destiny. It's like you help mentor people to step into the destiny. So I'm kind of getting like life coach as well, or sort of like a career coach, or a some kind of coach, doing some kind of coaching or something. This is quite, I feel like maybe for some of you, Pals 3, like you're already at home within yourselves, like you're already kind of doing this in a way, because I don't get like that there's much guidance to be said. But we'll have a look at the tarot. Let's get a bit more of a picture. What does Pile 3 need to know about coming home to themselves? What do they need to know? What do they need to do to come home to themselves? Whoa, okay. Oh, actually, hold on. Sorry, I haven't shuffled the deck since Pile 2, so let's quickly do that now. So while I'm doing this, I could ask you guys to comment below or leave an emoji if the reading resonates. It really helps my channel so much. And hit the like button as well if you're enjoying the reading. Oops. That is a bit of Alrighty, what does Pile 3 need to know about coming home to themselves? What does Pile 3 need to know about coming home to themselves? What does Pile 3 need to know? Oh, okay. Four of Pentacles. Wow, I'm just getting, like, we've got kind of more gold coins here. And I'm just getting, and she's sitting on a treasure chest, and I was speaking about treasure and having a treasure, like having this treasure within you that is like your wisdom, is like your treasure. And there's something here with Four of Pentacles can be about like holding on to that. So maybe for some of you, coming home to your true self involves like, I'm hearing like not hoarding your treasure. Like this wisdom that you've gained is not just for you. Part number 3, like the life experiences you've been through, and your ability to like see and have this insight and this wisdom and this perception and this ability to like mine your like emotional depths is not just about like you to hold on to for your own self. Like yes, it is important to have done that work for your own self and to have got into a like healthy, stable place within yourself, but it's also, I feel like, where your power lies. And like what it will look like once you're truly at home within yourself is sharing that wisdom with others, not hoarding it, not holding on to it, like sharing that treasure, sharing that ability to like, that sharing that power, essentially sharing that ability to like empower others as well. So let's get a little bit more What else does pile 3 need to know about coming home to themselves? Woo. Okay. 2 of Cups. Yeah, exactly. Collaboration, partnership, sharing, like giving, you know, give and take, equal give and take, like working with the other, emotionally investing in other people, or a friendship, or, you know, all of that. Yeah, just opening up from kind of keeping things to yourself, or keeping this treasure to yourself, to like emotionally investing in others, sharing your wisdom with others, and also like receiving, you know, receiving from them as well. Like it's kind of a two-way thing. So it could also be like maybe, yeah, like I'm kind of seeing like maybe this isn't the typical meaning of the 2 of Cups, but this is what I'm channeling through, is like where you work one-to-one with clients, like you're the guide, and then you have sort of a partnership. That this could be, I'm kind of seeing like a bit like a life coaching process, where like you go through a kind of program where you empower others, and you kind of work with them one-to-one. And it's very much like it's really beautiful energy, because it's a very beautiful collaborative process. It's a very like equal process. Like you don't kind of come out as like I'm so much more superior than you, or like anything. It's very yeah, it's very like equal energy. You're like on a par with them, and you're kind of like, hey, I'm not perfect, I don't know everything, I know a lot, like I've gone through a lot, and like, you know, I can see where like you might have blocks to your power, and you know, this is what I have done, but I can support you to like plumb the depths of your like emotions, or whatever it is, like, you know, to find your power in some way. It's kind of like, yeah, maybe going into some sort of collaboration, some sort of partnership, some sort of yeah, working with others. I'm kind of seeing like working with others, one-to-one, mentoring others. Like we've got 2 people pictured here and 2 people pictured here. It's like using your perception, your ability to see where people's power is, and working with them one-to-one, not holding on to that wisdom. It's like you're sitting on treasure right now. It's like your treasure is your wisdom and your knowledge, and you're sitting on that right now. So, but I mean, for some of you, you might not be. For some of you, you might be in this process. Like you might have already moved beyond that. Maybe you used to. But I feel like for some of you, if you don't feel like, if you can't honestly say, yeah, I'm fully this gatekeeper, I'm fully in my power, I'm fully like owning my power, I'm fully at home within myself, like it might be that you're literally sitting on a treasure chest of wisdom that you could be sharing with others, and working with other people, and helping others, and mentoring others. Like if you're not in any kind of mentoring role, then that is you being at home within yourself. That is too many cards, but okay, I'll take them. It's a lot more cards than the other parts got. That's fine. So here we go. So we've got Justice. This has Goddess Athena pictured here. Yeah, wisdom. What was I saying about wisdom? Passing on wisdom. The owl is symbolic of wisdom, and Goddess Athena is the goddess of wisdom and knowledge and truth and all of that. This is like your energy. It's like you have so much knowledge and wisdom and awareness. And look, she has a mirror around her chest. It's like you're able to hold that mirror up to people and like mirror back to them like their own beauty, their own power. You're able to help them, like you're able to show them that mirror and like show them, like support them through their emotional, like any kind of emotional stuff that is kind of holding them back. Yeah, you're able to, you have so much wisdom you're able to support people with, and help people to find balance as well with Justice. Something around like, also the number 11 as well. So this is like you being in alignment when you've kind of embraced this sort of Athena energy, if you like. And we've got Ace of Swords having that sovereignty with the symbolized by the crown, having that sovereignty over like your truth, your knowledge, your wisdom, like really owning that, you know, it's like, yeah, yes, like I am the queen, I know, or the king or whatever, like I am owning my wisdom, I'm embracing this wisdom, I'm embracing this knowledge, I can do this, I have I'm going to like have this, excuse me, this new beginning with the Ace of Swords, this new beginning over like this path, essentially, like being able to, I'm kind of seeing enlighten people, like with the lightning, it's like you can bring, again, wisdom, that perception, you can hold a mirror up to people, you can help people get clarity as well, like the Ace of Swords can be about clarity, like cutting through anything that's like not serving you, like all this cloudy energy that's been like covering up, you know, who you really are, or if you're supporting other people, covering up who they are, helping them cut through all of that and like find that clarity, find that enlightenment. Wow. And then we've got strength as well. Yeah, you've got like lion, super lion energy, lioness, and we've got a lion pictured here, so like a double message about lion energy. Super strong. I feel like you are very strong. You've had to find that strength within, and that's how you've been able to become a mentor. And you're also able to support others to find their strength as well. I feel like pile number 3, that is why you're like this gatekeeper. It's like you it's kind of Hecate energy a little bit, like you know, it's like the wisdom keeper, the keeper of the keys, the one who is like, yeah, the gatekeeper, or the guide, the wayfarer, the one who can help support others. Let's read from the guidebook for the Lion-Hearted card to finish off. So let's get that one out. Card number 26. Okay, so your ability to love yourself and be empowered is maturing. You're learning that the real beauty and value of you comes from within. You're learning to rise above emotional game playing with honesty. You can enjoy your attractiveness as a person without allowing it to control your life or your sense of self-worth. If others try to control you through their opinions about your appearance or in any other way, you will be strong enough to recognize it as their issue and nothing to do with you. Others will be attracted to your true inner beauty, appreciating your loveliness and enjoying how it helps them. Oh, I love this. This is very much you. Yeah. Others will be attracted to your true inner beauty, appreciating your loveliness and enjoying how it helps them feel good about who they are too. That's that kind of 2 of Cups energy. It's like, yeah, you're able to give this, like, through you being kind of, you know, like, you love yourself, you're empowered, you are invested in yourself, you're this, like, strong person, and, like, that helps other people feel good about themselves. Like when you work with them, you're able to help empower them and help them see, with the mirror there, the beauty in themselves, help them feel good about who they are too. I love that. Just by like embodying that yourself, that's just something that you spread to others. Okay, and the spiritual guidance is, Lioness brings you her soul medicine, helping you recognize that your feminine power is grounded in dignity. She stands against beauty being used as a tool of manipulation, to get something, to control someone, to put someone else down and make them feel unworthy. She knows that such behavior is dishonorable, taking what was once beautiful and distorting it into something ugly and corrupt. Lioness is the medicine of honor, of beauty that is enjoyed but not exploited. She is the soul medicine of courage. She refuses to be used as a pawn in another's game. She refuses to play with the minds and emotions of others. Her ways are direct and open. She is confident in who she is, and she is not afraid to be honest. Some may try to get the better of you, but she knows that you will never let yourself be manipulated. Even if quietly spoken, your truth has the impact of a roar. Lioness is not afraid to claim what is rightfully hers, and she will not let you quit until you secure what is meant for you. With her confidence in your heart, you can live your life in the open without any need to hide. You are the holder of Lioness medicine, a brave one, a huntress, and a protector of dignity, justice, and truth. Exactly. And the sacred ritual is, invite your inner lioness to communicate with you. I should focus in a second, hopefully. Okay, invite your inner lioness to communicate with you. Imagine, see, feel, or pretend that you can see her moving within your own soul. You may sense her resting, seeking out her lion mate, protecting her cubs, or out on the hunt. Trust her to show you the wisdom you need for yourself now as you play with her lioness spirit and soul medicine. Beautiful. Okay, so let's finish up with a couple of self-care oracle cards for like any self-care that you could do. Pile 3 to help support you in coming home to yourself. So whoa, that came out fast. Connect with fire. Okay, so yeah, connecting with fire energy could be very supportive. Maybe like building a bonfire or something, and like or like having sort of a gathering around a bonfire or something like that, maybe out in nature. That could be very, very helpful for you to help feel like at home with yourself. What else can pile number 3 do to 2? So burning bowl ritual. Wow. So yeah, I was just going to say that, but then it's specifically come out again. So connecting with fire and burning bowl ritual. So something to do with fire energy, using fire, like burning bowl ritual, you know, writing down things that you want to release, because she's got a little piece of paper here saying to let go. And also, like, I was thinking about mentioning release with this 4 of Pentacles. We've got the leaves here, autumn leaves, which is like symbolic of release. So I think there's something here that you're energetically needing to release that has been holding you back, that's been sort of like keeping you from like really sharing your wisdom and that treasure with others. And so maybe, yeah, doing something with fire, some kind of fire ritual, some kind of burning or a burning bowl ritual. If not doing like a bonfire, then just, you know, getting a little cauldron, practice fire safety, of course. Let's get one more. What else can pile 3 do to support them in coming home to themselves? And energy work. Okay, yeah. So maybe doing some kind of energy work, like I'm seeing the chakras here. So possibly doing like chakra healing work or doing some kind of energy healing. Either, I feel like for most of you, this is probably something you already do, or you already have a way that you do that. So it just could be confirming like to do a bit more of that to help you like really step into this power. And like, yeah, feel empowered to kind of like release your wisdom and share your wisdom with others. But yeah, I feel like those are all the messages I have for you, pile number 3. I hope that resonated for you. Leave me a comment below or drop me an emoji if it did. It really helps my channel so much. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps my content. It helps tell the algorithm what content is resonating with you guys at the moment. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of my community. I would love to have you here. All the best with stepping into your, all the best with coming home to yourself. And I will see you in the next reading. All my love.